Hey, it's Scrappy Peeps, Suzanna here to share with you this layout that I created today. This is a sketch-based layout, and this is based on that sketch that you just quickly saw there from Elle's studio. So this week, until the 26th of January, all of the Elle's studio self-paced classes are 50% off. You do not need a coupon, and the sale ends on the 26th. I have an affiliate link in the box down below that will take you to those classes, and you can definitely check those out. It is a really great deal. There are 50 sketches in the From Sketch to Finish Volume 4 that I used to create this layout. 50 sketches for really, it's a bargain. You definitely want to go and check that out, and there are 4 different classes as well. So on the layout, there is a scalloped border. I thought that it would be really cool to scallop this, but then I decided that I was really too lazy, and so I created my own stamped scallop border. So what I did was I used the Noted stamp, one of the journaling blocks, and I stamped it multiple times. Then in order to get the 2 halves, I'm just going to cut that in half so that I have a right scalloped border and a left scalloped border. Now, if I'd gotten really fancy, I could have actually cut that, but I actually kind of really like the effect of that. So the next thing that I'm doing for the other border, it's a straight border down either side, is I'm using a 6x6 paper pad piece, and I am going to cut 2 strips, and then I'm going to cut a 5th strip that gives me the ability to join. Because it is a red pink stripe all the way down, I want to be able to, and they both begin and end on a red, I wanted to be able to have that other color there, or the pink, to finish that off with. I wasn't thinking, and rather than just cutting off a pink and sticking at the bottom, I for some reason put a smaller pink strip in the middle. So you can see, if you look closely at the layout, how it is not continuous all the way down, but that's okay. So the other thing that the sketch calls for are 2 big circles on the left-hand side and the right-hand side of the layout. And then if you look at the layout, there is a circle that's also in the middle on the top, and that is the 3rd circle, so that you have your trio that ties everything together. And of course, things will be asymmetrical. So I am putting everything down with the idea that the photo will be what is the gauge to line everything up with. And I realize, you can see I've already stuck stuff down, that if I do that, everything is going to be pushed over to the right-hand side of the page. And really, this sort of grid that goes all the way down the page is centered on the page. So I am going to pick things up and shift it. And I realize that in the process of picking things up and shifting it, that scallop border, if you look closely, actually kind of skews off to the left at the top, but that's okay. Doesn't bother me. I can work with it, and we're good. Mistakes happen, and I'm just going to let it go. So then the sketch also calls for various horizontal strips, and so I'm going to use the gray that is from the 6x6 paper pad that came with this month's collection. I'm going to use that red and white polka that comes from Noteworthy, and the green is a strip that is going to come also from the Noteworthy 6x6 paper pad, and then that kind of funky grid there, that diagonal grid, is from the Oh My Heart 6x6 paper pad, I believe, but I can't swear by that, and I don't have it in front of me. These circles are from the print and cut files this month. I am a big fan of the print and cut files. I use them a lot. I like labels because they provide great layers. So this picture is of our cat, and she is in her Christmas Santa coat, and so therefore the title of this layout becomes Dreaded Coat. She absolutely hated it, but we found great amusement in putting her in it, and so that's what the title of this layout becomes. I love that I was able to use a collection that had really all all sorts of colors in it and really just pull out the reds and the greens and be able to create a Christmas layout, even though this wasn't a Christmas collection per se. So that's one of the great things about Elle Studio stuff, is that you really can, it's not necessarily themed, and if it is themed, there's always enough embellishments and enough just sort of really fun, bright color things that you can create any theme that you want. So there's that gray that's going to house the title and the journaling, and then there's the green, and I need to figure out what that middle piece in there was going to be. I toyed with the pink. You could see that I had that there, but I really ended up going with that white because you needed some white to break up the color. Otherwise it was just too busy. And I needed to figure out what that was because I didn't cut anything really to measurement. I just kind of wung it and just went with it. And that's what's great about this particular sketch, is you could totally use scraps for this. But it was also nice that I had the 6x6 paper pad and it was a 6x4 photo, so everything just worked perfectly. So this is me trying to piece those 6x6 or the 6x6 paper pad strips. And there, see, I don't know why I just didn't do the pink down the bottom. It would have been the logical thing to do, but I think sometimes when we're creating, we get so caught up in the artistic value of things that we forget about the logic of things. And so that's how that happened. So I created the strip for the right-hand side so that I didn't have to measure anything. I could just kind of slide it in underneath there and everything would line up. Put that photo down. So you can see here that I did not stray very far from the sketch. I love sketches as a jumping off point. They can be either a roadmap to what it is that you're creating, or they could be just sort of hints and suggestions. When I started scrapbooking, sketches were the only way that I could scrapbook, and I needed to follow the sketch to the T. I've been scrapbooking quite some time now, and so I like that, especially when I'm stuck and in a rut, they give me a jumping off point. So again, those are for sale. All of the self-paced classes are 50% off, so be sure to check the affiliate link down below. And again, you don't need a coupon. So this is somewhere where I kind of strayed from the sketch. So there was that horizontal, those 3 horizontal strips that are above the photo, and what I did to create even more of a horizontal effect there was I used the Happy Heart stamps, the diagonal, and I created a border on the bottom there that is going to house a label that says "Here we go again," which I typed, and that label is not called for on the sketch, but that's the beauty of sketches, is you can do whatever you want. If you want to add more, go for it. If you want to take stuff out, go for that too. You just have to kind of think of your design principles and kind of incorporate those into that. So then on the sketch, this calls for a 4x3 card that is on the right-hand side with a giant title there. So I do end up going with the 4x3 card, but rather than having it shifted to the right where it is on the sketch, I'm going to shift it to the left, and this is because of balance, a design principle. Belle's head, Belle is the cat, is more to the left-hand side of the photo, and I wanted to keep the focus more to your left than to your right because that's where the title and the journaling are going to go. And that's why I shifted that and changed that up from the sketch. And it's not a huge variation, but it is a variation. Also in the sketch, it calls for, that could be a label, but it also could be a tag. So I went with a tag from the So Loved shipping tags. And again, all of this product, you can, I also have an affiliate link for this in the description box down below, and can easily be purchased just by clicking on that link there. These are the die cuts that are from the January kit. You can see I've used quite a few in previous collections, and it's a great kit. They all are. If you like bright colors, then Elle Studio is for you. So what I'm doing here is the sketch calls for a banner in that center top middle strip, and so I'm just going to V-cut that label. And there's your banner, voila. And then I'm going to use a one of the dies. So I tried that print and cut, but it's just way too big. It works perfectly with the big circles that are on those outer edges, but wasn't going to work as far as proportion on that particular banner there. So I kind of do toy around with other things. I had a circle that was too small, and then I came up with that circle that's going to be a die cut from the collection, but it's going to take me a while to get there. Now I can always use these black and white polkas, and I really only need the end of the tag there, so I'm going to just cut off the end that I want. And the sketch doesn't call for a bow or anything off the end of the tag, but it just adds another splash of color. So I am going to use some green twine there to just, and that's perfect too, I think, for Christmas, right? All your packages have bows, or not all, but we like to put bows on our packages, and so that kind of ties it off like a nice little package. So in this bottom cluster down here, oh, I'm still fussing with that top thing. I really wanted, I think, to just use a label circle because I think I'd forgotten at this point about the die cut that's in the kit there. But there we go. And I'm actually going to put that on foam dots and pop that up for just a little bit of dimension. But it's a good thing that I found that, because that also showed me that little circle black with the heart. So the cat is black, and she is very, well, she's black and white, and she's very prominent in this layout. And I felt that I needed a few black elements scattered throughout the layout to kind of move your eye. Because the movement of this page is very much from top to bottom, I wanted to create purpose for those circles as well. And so by having the black and white polka dotted tag at the top left, then the black cat, and then that black smaller circle with the heart in it on the right hand side, that kind of created a diagonal movement in the same line as that vertical motion there. These are the acetate stars that come in the acetate heart and stars. They're my absolute favorite in this collection. And what I love about them is that there are a lot of them. So I'm going to be able to use those for a long time to come. And I have found that the best way of getting these suckers onto a project is with your tiny attacher and opening it and going that way, and then just closing the staple on the back side like I did just now. I have used all kinds of adhesive, and they do leave a mark, and I wasn't pleased with it, so that was why I ended up going with that. So we have the bulk of that layout there. Now we just really need to work on the title and the journaling. I did add an extra border to the bottom by using one of those January labels, and that particular label says good times noted, and I crossed out good and put not good times noticed, and then I did use the mini date stamp and put the date in there. I am going to use a heart scallop punch from American Crafts to actually put some hearts that mimic the rest of the hearts throughout the layout through the bottom of this card here. So it's actually the 4x3 card, and I'm just going to kind of knock off the bottom with that scalloped border in there. And I was tickled pink with the way that that turned out. The pink works perfectly with the rest of the pink in that striped paper that I'm using as a border there. So I'm going to adhere that down, and I'm going to need to trim off just a teeny bit of that green label there in order to make it fit on the journal card. And then it'll be time to write on, or to put a title on the page there. I used lots of labels, you can see, and what I like about the labels is while I talked earlier about that diagonal movement and that vertical movement, there's also a lot of horizontal movement, and that horizontal movement from the stripes going from left to right and those labels, it kind of balances out that vertical motion so that you have really a proportionately square layout rather than being skewed to one side there. So that's a little label that says hello. So in theory, The title could read Hello Dreaded Coat, but I just stuck with Dreaded Coat. So these are the Red Jane Alphas. They are my absolute favorite. Okay, I have lots of favorites, but I put the red for that boldness in the title, and then Coat is in the puffy alphas that come that were also released in the add-ons this January, and you will definitely need those. I like all things puffy, and to have the puffy alphas is absolutely fantastic. And then there's the puffy stickers that are going to finish off that title there. So again, this is a sketch-based layout based on an Elle Studio sketch from Sketch to Finish Volume 4. These all self-paced classes are on sale. Be sure to check out the affiliate link below. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them. Again, in the box down below. I thank you for stopping in today. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you come back soon. Take care.